Alright, this one I've actually seen, and it's not about sports balls, so I think I'm in here with a chance.
Hooray!
So basically, women in China are holding up a piece of A4 paper, and that's sort of the ideal now. That's the weight that you have to be, which is basically nothing because A4 isn't exactly that big.
Yeah, so it's the A4 challenge that they're holding a sheet of A4 paper in front of them and they're trying to make sure that their waist is actually smaller than the A4 sheet. And this isn't the width, this is the breadth. So they're holding it in a portrait way.
Yep.
Thank you. So it's portrait rather than landscape.
See, if it was landscape, I'd be in with a chance. Like, fucking look at me.
No, I think I think I passed the A3 challenge or maybe the A2. You know.
Yeah, butcher's paper.
The poster size challenge. Yeah.
But this is a whole body challenge that's been happening not just in China but elsewhere. I mean, there's been a couple of other examples. Like, what is it? The thigh gap?
What?
There was a thigh gap thing. No, this is all Instagram. Like, basically, everyone Instagrams themselves, and it's like, oh, look, I'm doing this stuff. I've got the thigh gap. I've got... And there's that other thing that Beyonce is good at. You know how like, there's that crease that happens on the waist?
I haven't checked. But...
No, it's like, because she's got wide hips and she's got a flat stomach, because what happens is that she's got this awesome, well, apparently awesome looking crease that happens there that on her waist.
Okay.
So that's something that people.
So basically, this is just another. This is what you should measure up to.
Well, this is the latest thing, like having trying to fit your waist within an A4 piece of paper.
All right, fuck that. Moving right along. As far as I'm concerned, fuck that.
Of course.
Basically, like, again, this is just like the thigh gap or some other arbitrary thing that not everyone can aspire to. It is disgusting. It is damaging to fucking men and women. And no, just fucking no. Yeah, I mean, like, me and Simon can joke about, oh, we'd need an A3. yeah, but, like, for fuck's sake. Why? Someone else talk, please. I'm just going to start yelling.
It's just a bad idea.
It's a terrible fucking idea. It's like, oh, look, I fit within the A4 piece of paper. I don't fit in the A4 piece of paper. Like, I'm going to starve myself now. That is a horrible fucking slippery slope to fucking get to. At the end of the fucking day. Because people are going to go, well, clearly I fail at being being
fitting,
remotely, reasonable, decent human being. So clearly I'll just starve myself. It's like, no. Fuck no.
See, the thing that I wonder about is that in Western nations, we have this active debate about, if there is it really healthy to have these sort of things happen on the internet, to have these crazes?
It isn't, though.
Because this, like, I was just having a quick further read through that article while you were talking, and I mean, the other examples that are really kicking off in China as well is a belly button challenge, and what was the other one? There's ones where they hold pens under their breasts to see if their boobs are big enough.
Okay.
See, I just do that because I don't have a pencil case. It's like, that's a good place to do it. I get why chicks do that, because the cleavage is a good little storage area.
And what else as well? It's like there's a belly button challenge where they try to wrap their arm around and see if their thumb... I can't do it. Like, to see if their thumb can fit into their belly button.
What?
Well, it's all part of that A4 thing where it's like if their waist is small enough, then it'll look awesome enough. And another test is to see if they can bring their hand around to stick their thumb into their belly button.
I can't think of any person who'd be able to do that.
Well, there's the Instagram pictures, but I'm getting back to that idea of body image and that it is a healthy debate that's happening in Western nations. But when you look at some place in China that's seen, with the use of Instagram, that's still seen as this idea of like aspiring to the feminine ideal is to have that, that impossible looking body. I just wonder how healthy that discussion is in China.
It's not healthy in any fucking language, in any fucking country, in any fucking region, any fucking state. It's again, very slippery slope, because someone, like my size, or Simon's size, if I'm, many apologies.
No, it's okay.
Are going to go, well, I don't fit within this A4 piece of paper. I can't dislocate my arm and stick it fucking in my belly button or whatever. So clearly there's something wrong with me. I need to fix this. That's how anorexics get started. That's how bulimics get started. That's how all this shit gets started. And the reason I'm so fervent about this is because I've dealt with this my fucking self. I have terrible body image. Terrible fucking body image. It's only taken the last couple of years for me to realise it's okay to be a fatty. I'm okay with this. And really, size pants don't matter if you don't wear any.
So I think this is like the good thing and the bad thing about internet and social media, and in particular Instagram. Because there's still, I think, the idea of femininity and feminism, it's still a very competitive thing.
And that's the thing as well. I'm not gonna... Hopefully I don't get into mansplaining territory here, but yeah, feminism shouldn't be about tearing each other down. It should be, we can work together to achieve this. Not, you're a cunt, so I'm going to call you a cunt because feminism. Fuck that.
Sort of
You know, like, this is why, like, shit like this is why I'm very for, fat positivity. You know, like, it's probably not the most healthy alternative to shit like this, but it's an alternative, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
You know.
We ask why is this a thing, obviously. Like,
Yeah.
why is it happening? But I'd also ask an additional question, like, why is it happening? Like, it shouldn't be a thing, but why is it happening? What's happening underneath to motivate people to want to have these kind of competitions?
My ballpark guess, but I'll be surprised if I don't knock it out of the park. Media.
Okay.
Media, like magazines, television, etc., advertising, they all expect you to fit into this arbitrary scale of whether you're good enough or not. Look at any fucking, like, Dolly magazine or some shit like that. I'm sure you haven't looked at a Dolly magazine. I haven't looked at one in ages, and that was out of boredom.
Not lately.
You know, like, everyone all has to be thin and perfect and fucking prim and proper and all this. That feeds from... It basically just... It's one affecting the other. You know, and, basically every other commercial is, you have to be thin and healthy or otherwise you're a terrible fucking person, you're a disgusting pig, and you deserve to fucking die. This is where it's all coming from. You know, so that's why these conversations still exist. Basically. And then it feeds into just how the fucking body in general operates. You know, there's a lot of fucking brouhaha over, vaginas and shit like that, and they sell these fucking feminine hygiene products, which we don't need. We don't need fucking, Vagiclean or whatever to make sure that your fucking bits are minty fresh or anything like that. It fucking cleans itself. You don't need a detox diet, you have a fucking liver. It's like, this shit can destroy people.
Which leads into, I guess this sort of leads into like the consumerist argument and all that too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I realise it's rich coming from me, because I've got pretty much brand name everything operating at the moment, but, so that's why it's happening, that's why I'm shitty.
What I'm particularly interested about is that it is a worldwide phenomenon. It's like you're seeing people taking these applications around the world. Like, it's just not, these days it's just not limited to a Western thing. I would actually say that it's an international, global phenomenon now. And I think that's the way it really needs to be identified and talked about. So yeah, I reckon an immediate solution would be to ban Instagram.
But how are people going to take pictures of their food, Michael?
Maybe they can actually eat it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good thinking. Good thinking.
Is there any push for a counter message or anything like that? Like,
the counter message is basically, as opposed to nothing tastes as good as skinny feels, the counter message is body positivity, and it's okay to be a fat person. Love the skin you're in, basically.
I guess the proportion in Instagram or wherever these social media sites, it's just not the balance isn't. There's no.
It's there, but it's not really. Like, obviously, this shit gets more ground because you know it's again, it's just fed by the media and stuff like that. Like, when was the last time you saw a fat person in a commercial that wasn't for a weight loss pill or an exercise machine or anything like that? Yeah, so
Well, actually, exercise machines, they're all done by really buff people.
they're all done by fucking buff people anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, basically, I think body positivity is a relatively new, whereas looking as thin as you possibly can and looking like a fucking junkie has been around since time immemorial. So that's sort of the stumbling block we need to get over. But it is gaining ground, which is fantastic. You know, because like young people, it doesn't have to be women, like I said, but you know they cop the brunt of it. Young women, young men need to hear this message that it's okay if you don't fit this ideal. You don't have to look like Barbie. You don't have to look like Ken. End of fucking story. Yeah. And I wish fucking someone told me that fucking ages ago. But anyway, that's okay because I found Twinkies and life is good.
Easy.